Class is in memory of Jared Orchin. And you know the word Yashar Koach? Everybody says Yashar Koach. You go from the Bima, Yashar Koach. You open the Ark, Yashar Koach. Yashar Koach is a very common expression. Or there is some people in the other places say Chazak U'Baruch, that the Sephardi Jews say. Where is coming the Yashar Koach? What does this mean, Yashar Koach, first of all? Yashar Koach means, literally, your strength should be straight. There is no translation for the word Yashar Koach. It's may your strength be firm. That would be the correct expression.
Is it Yiddish or Hebrew?
Yashar Koach is Hebrew. It became a Yiddish word, shkoyach. Yashar means straight, Koach means power, strength. It means that from this action you should draw power, you should draw strength from this action. From this aliyah, from this mitzvah, from this. And God should give you more strength, so to speak. And where is coming this expression? Who was the first one that was said to her? And why? Then in general, Yashar Koach is written in the Talmud maybe 2 or 3 times. That's it. Very few times. One time it's written when the daughters of Jethro were saved by Moses. The Talmud says they told him Yashar Koach. Obviously didn't tell him this expression, but that's how the Talmud phrased it. That he told them, don't tell me Yashar Koach. Tell the Egyptian that I killed Yashar Koach, because then I had to run away from Egypt and I end up here and I saved you. And it's because he gave the credit to the Egyptian that wanted to kill a Jew and he had to kill him. That's why that's one of the explanations why it's called in the Bible by the Jethro's daughter, an Egyptian man saved us. The language is an Egyptian man saved us. What do I mean with this? That one of the commentaries says, because of the Egyptian man's story, we were saved. Actually looking at the hand of God. Moses met an Egyptian man who wants to kill a Jewish guy. Moses had no choice but to kill him. Because of this, Moses had to run away from Egypt because he killed an Egyptian man. He ended up by the water in Midian. He saved Jethro's daughters. Then who saved them? Said an Egyptian man saved us. But this is not the literal sense where it's written Yashar Koach. Yashar Koach is written about something that happened in the Parshat of this week. The Parsha of this week, the theme of the Parsha of this week is the golden calf, right? Moses is standing at Mount Sinai, getting a set of tablets, and God tells him, you know what's going on downstairs, Moshe? Oh, ho, ho. The Jews are building the golden calf. He gave him all the 6 o'clock news in one shot. Moses still took with him the 2 tablets. He goes down, right? Goes down. Joshua meets him on the road by the bottom of the mountain, and he sees with his own eyes how the Jews were worshipping idols. What he did? He takes the tablets and he smashed them. He breaks the tablet. Shviras haluches. Why he broke the tablets? Rashi brings 2 reasons. One reason is because he says they didn't deserve it. They were idol worshippers. They cannot receive the tablets. The other reason is he wanted to save the Jewish people. See, Mount Sinai, when God says, do not worship idols, it was like a conversation between God and Moses. That Moses can say, they just overheard the conversation, you told me, you didn't tell them. More than that, it was not yet in writing. When Moses arrives with the tablets in writing, do not worship idols, and he gives it to the Jews, they deserve that. He broke the tablet. As Rashi brings the example that he take the ketubah, you tear the ketubah before you deliver it to the woman, there was no deal, there was no marriage. That's why he did it, to save the Jewish people. Moses had very good reasons to break the tablets. Not to give the tablets to the Jewish people, I understand. But why, there is one big question. Why to break the tablets, for heaven's sake? God himself created the stones and himself wrote the writing on the tablets. Such a precious thing. You don't want to give it to Jews, give it back to God. Other things you do. What do you do with a holy book that it's old, that you don't want to use?
Bury it.
You bury it. You put it in the gnizem. What? Breaking the tablets? That God himself broke and made? That's the first question. Number two, we don't see anywhere in the Bible that Moses was punished for that, for breaking the tablets. Not only he was not punished, Hashem told them Yashar Koach. That's where the famous line Yashar Koach comes from, the Talmud is there. It's written in the text of this week Parshat. When Hashem tells them to make a second set of tablets, he tells them, Asher Shibarto, the stones that you broke. Make another set like the ones you broke. Then Asher Shibarto, the Talmud says, Yashar Koach Asher Shibarto. Thank you for breaking it. Then obviously God liked it. Strange. Third question is, what you did with the broken tablets? What did you do with the broken tablets?
Put them in the ark.
You put them in the ark, no. What would you do with the broken pieces? Bury them, right?
Possibly.
Pretty holy stuff.
He got a second set of tablets, beautiful set. What you keeping the broken pieces? Bury them. You have a new set, a new table instead of the old table, a new Torah instead of the old Torah cannot be used anymore. You bury it, right? You have a new Torah, you have a new tablet. Why are you keeping the broken pieces inside the ark? We know that God gave it, but why inside the ark?
Because it's a reminder.
But to understand all of the three questions, we need to understand what's the situation of the Jewish people were.
Right.
When the Jewish people were receiving the Torah, they were in seventh heaven. They received the Torah. They heard God himself. They had an experience that was unbelievable. As the Medrash says on the Pasuk in the book of Psalms, God says about the Jews that they're all like God. That's how high they were. They were supposed to live forever at Mount Sinai after the Mount Sinai experience. They were like whom?
Angels.
Like whom? Almost, yeah. Also angels, it's written, Bnei Elyon. But who they were like? It went back to the beginning. They were like Adam and Eve before the sin. Amazing. What happened? They became arrogant. They took themselves too seriously. What's the sin of Adam and Eve? What was the problem of Adam? He was arrogant. That's was the problem. That's why he sinned.
Wanted to be a god, right?
The word Adam is, in the book of Chronicles, it starts with a big letter. The word Adam, the Aleph, is a large Aleph. In the Bible, there is a regular size letters, and there is large letters and small letters. Vayikra, about Moses, Vayikra and Moshe, the Aleph of Vayikra is a small Aleph. The beginning of Chronicles, the name Adam, with a big letter Aleph. Then it's a whole story, we're not going to it, but the bottom line is, then Adam was arrogant, and that's why he sinned. Moses was humble, that's why he was connected to God. He never sinned, never made mistakes. Then the problem with the people who before the golden calf, they thought they reached a level that they can never make mistakes. And that's the beginning of the falling. When Moses came down from Mount Sinai and he saw the golden calf, if he would give a speech, they would fall asleep, like by every rabbi. Right? Then what he did something that will shake up the Jewish people forever. You know, once a mother told me her son ran away from Hebrew school. She looked for him. She didn't know. Here we said he never came. She left. She said she came home. She started to cry. She didn't tell him anything. That shook him up. He never did it again. When you want to do something, when you want to shake up people, you have to do something extraordinary. Moses says he broke the tablet. And when Moses broke the tablet, you know what happened? The Rebbe once said, something inside the Jews broke forever. Forever. And then it woke up then he was able to talk to them. Then he was able to take the golden calf and grind it and give it to drink, and they started to do tshuva. But he couldn't talk to them before he broke the tablets. He had to wake them up. He had to wake them up from the sweet dream that they had and bring them back to reality. And that's why there is two opinions what they did with the broken tablets. One opinion say they put it in the same ark together with the complete tablets. The other opinion says it was another ark for the broken tablets only. And when the Jews used to go to war in the time of Joshua, and it's written they used to take the ark with them, was the ark of the broken tablets. You can ask yourself, what do you need the ark of broken tablets? The broken tablets reminds the sin of the Jewish people. That when you go to war and we need mercy from God, we're reminding God the sin of the Jewish people, the ultimate sin. You know, there is a law that a Kohen Gadol, a high priest, cannot enter Yom Kippur, the holiest day of the year, cannot enter the holiest of holiest with his regular clothing. He has to wear linen clothing. Why? Because the regular clothing have golden thread in it. What's wrong about golden thread? Because he don't want to remind when we come to God on Yom Kippur to ask forgiveness, atonement for the Jewish people. We don't want to remind gold because gold reminds God about the golden calf. The same golden calf story is the broken tablets. That the Jews go to war. That you're taking the broken tablets to war to remind God about the biggest sin? The answer is yes. Because when the Jewish people used to go to war, and remember that the ark that goes before them is the broken tablets. Because they sinned, that will wake them up to do tshuva. That will break their heart. And then they will be more vessels to the blessing of God, to win the war. Because it's all about doing tshuva. And that's why, as was a Hasidic Rebbe said, the Kotzker Rebbe said, there is nothing a more complete thing than a broken heart. Now, in English, people get a broken heart, means a humble heart, let's put it this way. And it's because broken thing is a broken thing. It's a play of word. There is no more complete thing than a broken heart. The idea is the humbleness. And we see also, we see in life, people at stories, that the Holocaust survivors, they kept their suitcase. I think Rabbi Lau tells a story. He kept the suitcase that he came from Europe to Israel, and he's boydem and he's edik forever. Every time, from time to time, to take it out and show his kids from where it's his humble beginnings, to remind them always from where he's coming, not to lose it. Some Jewish people have a custom, Sephardi Jews, they have the first dollar that they got in the new business, they put on the wall. To remember, it started with $1. Don't put down, I don't need this customer. You need everyone. People, you see in history, people who were successful and became very arrogant, and then they lost their money. When they came back again, they remembered very well, they remind themselves constantly how it was when they didn't have it, how bad it was. That's why Hashem told Moses, Yashar Koach, for breaking the tablets. Because by this, he broke the heart of the Jews forever, and he made them to be humble and connected to God.